You get one shot at this thing, one life, one chance to do something that matters, one opportunity to leave your mark before the clock runs out, and you're sitting there like you've got infinite time, like there's some backup plan, like you'll get another round if this one doesn't work out. You won't. This is it. This is your only chance to be alive, your only chance to feel something real, your only chance to build something that outlasts you. And most people treat it like a dress rehearsal, like the real show starts tomorrow, like they're waiting for permission or the perfect moment or some sign from the universe telling them it's okay to start. But here's what nobody wants to tell you. The perfect moment doesn't exist. The sign you're waiting for is never coming. And permission, you don't need it. You never did. Look around at the people who actually did something with their lives. The ones who built businesses or created art or changed their communities or just became the best version of themselves they could be. You think they were special? You think they had some advantage you don't have? They didn't. They just decided that waiting was the same as dying. They understood that every day you spend not moving toward what you want is a day you'll never get back. They got tired of talking about it and they started being about it. You know what's crazy? Most people live their entire lives in the waiting room. They're waiting to feel ready, waiting to have enough money, waiting for the kids to grow up, waiting for the right partner, waiting for the fear to go away, waiting for confidence to just magically appear one morning. And they wait, and they wait, and they wait, until one day they're 70 years old looking back at a life full of should-haves and could-haves and if-onlys, a life spent preparing to live instead of actually living. That's the real tragedy. Not that people fail, not that people try and fall short. The tragedy is all the people who never even try. All the dreams that die in the parking lot because someone was too scared to walk through the door. You think you're being smart by playing it safe. You think you're being responsible by not taking risks. But what you're really doing is guaranteeing that you'll never know what you were capable of. You're trading the possibility of greatness for the certainty of regret, and you can lie to yourself about it. You can tell yourself you're being practical or realistic or mature, but deep down you know the truth. Deep down you know you're scared, and there's nothing wrong with being scared. Fear is human, but letting fear make your decisions for you, that's where you lose. I've seen people throw away their one shot because they were worried about what other people might think, because they were afraid of looking stupid or failing or being judged. And you know what happened? Those other people they were so worried about, they moved on with their lives. They forgot about it in a week. But the person who didn't try, they're still thinking about it years later, still wondering what might have been. Muhammad Ali said something that should be tattooed on everyone's forehead. He said the man who views the world at 50 the same way he did at 20 has wasted 30 years of his life. Think about that. If you're not growing, if you're not evolving, if you're not becoming more than you were yesterday, then what are you doing? You're not here to stay the same. You're not here to play it safe and keep your head down and hope nothing bad happens. You're here to become something, to push yourself, to find out what you're made of when things get hard. Because they will get hard. That's guaranteed. Life doesn't care about your comfort. It doesn't care about your plans or your feelings or your excuses. It's going to test you. It's going to push you. And in those moments, you'll find out who you really are. You'll find out if you're the person who quits when it gets uncomfortable or the person who gets stronger. You'll find out if you're the person who blames circumstances or the person who changes them. You'll find out if you're serious about this one life you've got or if you're just passing time until the end. And here's the thing about taking action, about actually going after what you want instead of just thinking about it. It changes you, not because success is guaranteed, but because the act of trying, the act of putting yourself out there, the act of choosing courage over comfort, it builds something in you that can't be built any other way. Every time you do the thing you're afraid to do, you get stronger. Every time you push past your limits, those limits expand. Every time you choose growth over safety, you become more capable of handling whatever comes next. But you have to start. You have to take the first step even when you can't see the whole staircase. You have to move forward even when you don't feel ready. Because feeling ready is a trap. It's your brain's way of keeping you safe. And safe is the enemy of everything you actually want to become. Steve Jobs knew this. He said you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward, which means you have to trust that somehow the path will reveal itself as you walk it. You have to have faith that taking action, any action, in the direction of your dreams is better than perfect planning that leads nowhere. So what are you waiting for? What magical thing needs to happen before you give yourself permission to start living? What's the worst that could happen if you actually tried? You might fail. You might look stupid. People might judge you. And so what? You're going to die anyway. Everyone dies. Everyone gets forgotten eventually. The only question is whether you died having truly lived, or whether you died having merely existed. Whether you spent your one chance playing it safe, or whether you spent it becoming everything you could be. You think the people who did great things weren't scared? You think they just woke up fearless and confident and ready to conquer the world? They were terrified. The difference is they did it anyway. They understood that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting despite the fear. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. 27 years. And when he got out, he didn't spend his time being bitter or angry or broken. He spent it changing an entire country. He spent it becoming a symbol of forgiveness and leadership and human dignity, because he understood that his life wasn't about what happened to him. It was about what he chose to do with what happened to him. You've got problems. I get it. Life is hard. Things didn't go the way you planned. People let you down. You made mistakes. You're not where you thought you'd be by now. Join the club. Everyone's got a story. Everyone's carrying something. But your story doesn't get to be an excuse. Your past doesn't get to determine your future unless you let it. And yeah, some people had it easier than you. Some people had advantages you didn't have. Some people got lucky breaks that never came your way. None of that matters. Not one bit. Because comparing your journey to someone else's journey is a waste of the only life you've got. The only question that matters is, what are you going to do with your one shot? What are you going to do with the cards you were dealt? You can sit there and complain about how the deck was stacked against you. Or you can play your hand so well that people forget you weren't dealt aces. You can spend your energy being mad about what you don't have. Or you can spend it maximizing what you do have. And you have more than you think. You have today. You have right now. You have the ability to make a different choice than the one you made yesterday. You have the power to start moving in a new direction. You have one life and it's happening right now, whether you're ready or not. Most people spend so much time getting ready to live that they forget to actually live. They're waiting to lose the weight before they pursue the relationship. Waiting to save more money before they start the business. Waiting to feel confident before they put themselves out there. Waiting to be perfect before they begin. But perfection is a myth designed to keep you stuck. It's a moving target that gets further away the closer you think you're getting. And while you're chasing this imaginary standard, your life is passing you by. Your one chance is slipping through your fingers while you're busy preparing for some future that might never come. You want to know what successful people do differently? They start before they're ready. They take messy action. They figure it out along the way. They understand that real learning happens in the arena, not in the preparation room. They know that experience beats planning every single time. Bruce Lee said, knowing is not enough, you must apply. Willing is not enough, you must do. And he was right. All the knowledge in the world means nothing if you don't use it. All the potential in the universe is worthless if you don't activate it. All the dreams and goals and visions you have are just fantasies unless you back them up with action. And action is scary. It should be. Because when you take action, you're putting yourself at risk. You're opening yourself up to failure and criticism and disappointment. You're stepping out of the safety of your comfort zone into the unknown. And your brain hates that. Your brain is designed to keep you safe, not to help you grow. So it's going to fight you every step of the way. It's going to give you every reason why you should wait. Every excuse for why now isn't the right time. Every fear about what could go wrong. And if you listen to it, if you let that voice of self-preservation make your decisions, you'll never do anything worth doing. Because everything worth doing is scary. Everything that matters requires you to risk something. Every meaningful achievement sits on the other side of fear and doubt and discomfort. There's no way around it. There's only through it. And here's what happens when you push through it. When you feel the fear and do it anyway. When you take action despite every reason your brain is giving you not to. You discover that you're stronger than you thought. You learn that you can handle more than you believed. You find out that most of the things you were afraid of weren't nearly as bad as you imagined. But more than that, you start building momentum. Because action creates motivation, not the other way around. Most people think they need to feel motivated before they take action. But that's backwards. Motivation comes from doing. From taking one small step and then another until suddenly you're moving forward and the movement itself creates the energy to keep going. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to see the whole path laid out before you. You just need to take the next step. and then the next one, and then the next one, and before you know it, you've traveled further than you ever thought possible. But you have to start. You have to stop waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan or the perfect version of yourself, because none of those things exist. And while you're waiting for them, your one life is happening. Your one chance is passing. Your one opportunity to do something that matters is slowly dying. And the worst part is, you already know this. You already know you're running out of time. You already know you need to make a change. You already know what you should be doing, but you're not doing it. You're still waiting, still making excuses, still choosing comfort over growth. Why? What are you so afraid of? What's the worst thing that could happen if you actually went for it? You might fail. So what? Failure is temporary. Regret is permanent. You might embarrass yourself. So what? Everyone's too worried about their own lives to spend much time thinking about yours. You might have to work harder than you ever have before. So what? Hard work never killed anyone, but a life half-lived might as well have. You've got people depending on you. Maybe not today, maybe not right now, but someday. Your future self is depending on the choices you make today. Your future family is depending on the foundation you're building right now. The person you could become is depending on the actions you take in this moment. Are you going to let them down? Are you going to look back 10 years from now and wish you had started today? Are you going to be 65 years old full of regret because you let fear make your decisions? Or are you going to understand that this is your one shot and you don't get another one, and every day you waste is a day you'll never get back? Are you going to realize that the pain of discipline is nothing compared to the pain of regret? Are you going to accept that you only live once, so you better make it count? Because here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Most people die without ever truly living. They spend their entire lives going through the motions, working jobs they hate, living for the weekend, counting down the years until retirement, telling themselves that someday they'll do the things they really want to do. But someday never comes. Someday is a place where dreams go to die. Someday is where you hide when you're too scared to face today. Someday is a lie you tell yourself so you don't have to feel bad about wasting your one precious life. And you're better than that. I know you are. Because if you weren't, you wouldn't still be here. You wouldn't still be listening. You wouldn't still be hoping that something could change, that you could change, that your life could be different than it is right now. And it can be, but only if you decide that it will be. Only if you commit to making different choices starting right now. Only if you stop waiting and start doing. Only if you accept that this is your one life, and either you're going to live it or you're going to waste it. There's no middle ground. You're either growing or you're dying. You're either moving forward or you're falling behind. You're either becoming more or you're becoming less. There is no staying the same. Life doesn't work that way. Every single day you wake up, you're making a choice about who you're going to be. And most people choose the easy path. They choose comfort. They choose safety. They choose to stay exactly where they are, because change is hard and growth is uncomfortable, and becoming something more requires work. But you're not most people. At least you don't have to be. You can decide right now that you're done being ordinary, that you're done playing small, that you're done wasting your potential because you're too scared to find out what you're really capable of. Kobe Bryant used to talk about the Mamba mentality, about being so focused and so dedicated and so committed to greatness that nothing else mattered, about understanding that success isn't an accident. It's a choice, a daily choice to do what others won't, to sacrifice what others can't, to push harder and go further and want it more than anyone else around you. And that's not just for basketball, that's for life. That's for anything you want to achieve. That mindset of refusing to be average, of refusing to settle, of refusing to let your one chance slip away because you were too comfortable or too scared or too lazy to chase what you really wanted. You think you have time. That's the problem. You think tomorrow is guaranteed. You think you'll get around to it eventually. You think there's always next year or next month or next week, but there isn't. All you have is now, this moment, this day, this opportunity to be better than you were yesterday, and you can waste it. Most people do. They waste today waiting for tomorrow. They waste this year waiting for next year. They waste their 20s waiting to figure things out in their 30s. They waste their 30s waiting to really live in their 40s. They waste their 40s waiting for retirement, and then they retire and realize they forgot to live at all. Don't be that person. Don't wake up one day and realize you spent your entire life preparing to live instead of actually living. Don't look back and see nothing but wasted potential and missed opportunities and dreams you were too afraid to chase. You only get one chance at this. One life to make your mark. One opportunity to become everything you're capable of becoming. One shot to do something that matters. Are you going to take it? Are you going to stop making excuses and start making progress? Are you going to stop talking about what you're going to do someday and start doing it today? Because the clock is ticking, and every second you spend waiting is a second you'll never get back. Every day you choose comfort over growth is a day lost forever. Every moment you let fear make your decisions is a moment wasted. Your one life is happening right now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready or when circumstances are perfect or when you have all the answers. Right now. This is it. This is your chance. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to look back at this moment as the turning point? The day you decided enough was enough? The moment you stopped being a spectator in your own life and became a participant? The time you chose to stop surviving and start living? Or are you going to look back and wish you had? Wish you had been braver? Wish you had tried harder? Wish you had believed in yourself? Wish you had understood that you only live once, and either you go after what you want or you spend your life wishing you had. The choice is yours. It's always been yours. Nobody's going to save you. Nobody's going to hand you the life you want. Nobody's going to make you successful or happy or fulfilled. That's on you. That's your responsibility. That's your one job while you're here. To become, to grow, to push yourself beyond what you think you're capable of, to find out what you're really made of when you're tested, to build something that matters, to leave the world a little different than you found it, to live in a way that makes your one chance count. So stop waiting. Stop making excuses. Stop letting fear run your life. Stop playing small. Stop settling for less than you deserve. Stop wasting your potential because you're too comfortable or too scared or too worried about what might go wrong. Stop moving. Start trying. Start failing forward. Start building. Start becoming. Start living like this is your only chance, because it is. You only live once. This is it. This is your moment. What are you going to do with it? Let me tell you something about regret. It's not the things you did that you'll think about on your deathbed. It's the things you didn't do, the risks you didn't take, the words you didn't say, the life you didn't live because you were too busy playing it safe. I've talked to enough old people to know this is true. They don't regret the business that failed. They regret the business they never started. They don't regret asking someone out and getting rejected. They regret never asking at all. They don't regret working hard and falling short. They regret not working hard enough to find out what they were capable of. That's what haunts people at the end. Not their failures, their never tries. Not their mistakes, their never attempts. Not their losses, they're never really played the games. And you're heading down that same path unless you change something right now. Unless you decide that you're not going to be another person who dies wondering what if. What if I had tried? What if I had pushed harder? What if I had believed in myself just a little bit more? You want to know what separates the people who make it from the people who don't? It's not talent. Talent is overrated. There are incredibly talented people working dead-end jobs and living unfulfilled lives because talent without action is worthless. It's not luck either. Yeah, some people get breaks. But you know what? Lucky people make their own luck. They show up. They take chances. They put themselves in positions where good things can happen to them. They understand that you can't win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket. What separates the winners from the losers is simple. It's the willingness to be uncomfortable. It's the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. It's showing up on the days when showing up is the last thing you want to do. Because here's what nobody tells you about success. It's boring. Most of it anyway. It's waking up at the same time every day. It's doing the same productive things over and over and over. It's discipline when you don't feel motivated. It's consistency when you want to quit. It's showing up when everyone else stayed home. That's not exciting. That doesn't make for a good movie. But that's what actually works. That's what separates the people who achieve their dreams from the people who just dream about achieving them. Michael Jordan didn't become the greatest basketball player of all time because he had the most talent. There were plenty of talented players in the league. He became the greatest because he outworked everyone, because he showed up earlier and stayed later, because he practiced when no one was watching, because he took failure personally and used it as fuel to get better. That's the mentality you need. Not I'll try my best. Not I'll see how it goes. not "I hope this works out." You need the mentality of "I will do whatever it takes for however long it takes until I get what I want. Period. End of story." And most people aren't willing to do that. They want the results without the work. They want the destination without the journey. They want to be in shape without going to the gym. They want to be successful without the struggle. They want the trophy without the training. But life doesn't work that way. You don't get to skip the hard parts. You don't get to fast forward through the boring middle. You have to earn it, every single bit of it. And the people who understand that, the people who accept it and embrace it, those are the people who end up winning. So where are you right now? Are you putting in the work, or are you just putting in time? Are you actually trying to get better, or are you just going through the motions? Are you pushing yourself, or are you staying comfortable? Because comfortable is the enemy. Comfortable is where dreams go to die. Comfortable is where potential gets wasted. Comfortable is where you end up looking back at your life wondering why you never became more than you were. You need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You need to learn to love the grind. You need to find a way to embrace the process instead of just chasing the outcome. Because the outcome is not guaranteed. The only thing you control is the work you put in right now, and that's enough. That has to be enough. Because if you're always focused on the destination, you'll never enjoy the journey, and the journey is all you've got. The destination is just a moment, a brief celebration before you start climbing the next mountain. The journey is where you spend your life, so you better learn to love it. You better learn to find satisfaction in the daily grind, in the small improvements, in the tiny steps forward that nobody else sees or cares about. Because that's what builds greatness, not the big moments, the small ones, the ones where you choose to show up when no one would blame you for staying home. That's where character gets built. That's where discipline gets forged. That's where you become the person capable of handling success when it finally comes. Because success will test you too, maybe even more than failure does. Success reveals who you really are just as much as struggle does. And if you're not ready for it, if you haven't built the foundation through years of unglamorous work, success will destroy you. We've all seen it happen. People who get everything they wanted and don't know how to handle it. Who fall apart because they never developed the character necessary to sustain what they built. That's why the process matters. That's why the journey is just as important as the destination. Because who you become along the way is what determines whether you can keep what you earn. Think about it like this. You're building a house. You can rush through it, cut corners, use cheap materials, get it done fast, and it might look good for a while. But the first storm that comes through is going to expose all the weakness, all the shortcuts, all the places where you didn't do the work right. Or you can take your time, lay a proper foundation, use quality materials, do things right even when no one is watching. And when the storms come, and they will come, your house will stand, because you built it to last. That's what you're doing with your life. You're building something. And every choice you make is either strengthening the foundation or weakening it. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're adding to the foundation. Every time you choose growth over safety, you're making the structure stronger. Every time you do the hard thing when the easy thing is right there, you're building something that will last. But every time you take the shortcut, every time you choose comfort over growth, every time you let fear make your decisions, you're weakening what you're building. And maybe it doesn't matter today. Maybe it doesn't even matter this year. But eventually those choices catch up to you. Eventually the foundation cracks. Eventually the whole thing comes down. And then you're standing there in the ruins of what could have been, wondering where it all went wrong, wondering why you're not where you thought you'd be, wondering why other people succeeded and you didn't. But deep down you know it's because of all those little choices, all those moments where you chose easy over hard, all those times you told yourself it didn't matter, all those days you let slip by without making them count. That's the thing about one life, about one chance. You can't waste years and expect to get them back. You can't spend decades playing small and then suddenly decide to be great. You can't wait until you're old to start living, because by then it's too late. By then your body doesn't work the same. Your energy is gone. Your opportunities have passed. The time is now, right now, today, this moment. This is when you have to decide. This is when you have to commit. This is when you have to stop talking and start doing. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but I'm not ready. I don't know how. I don't have what it takes. I'm not good enough yet. And you're right. You're not ready. You don't know how. You probably don't have what it takes right now. But so what? Nobody's ready. Nobody knows how at first. Nobody has what it takes until they develop it. The people who succeed aren't the ones who wait until they're ready. They're the ones who start before they're ready and figure it out along the way. They're the ones who jump and build their wings on the way down. They're the ones who understand that you don't get better by thinking about it. You get better by doing it. So do it. Whatever it is. Whatever that thing is that you've been thinking about and talking about and planning for, do it. Today. Right now. Take the first step. Send the email. Make the call. Sign up for the class. Start the project. Whatever it is, just start. Because starting is the hardest part. Starting is where most people fail. They never get past the thinking stage. They never take that first scary step into the unknown. They stay comfortable and safe and stuck. But once you start, once you take that first step, something changes. Momentum builds. Confidence grows. The path starts to reveal itself. And suddenly what seemed impossible starts to feel achievable. Not easy, but possible. And possible is all you need. Possible means there's a chance. Possible means you've got a shot. Possible means that if you work hard enough and long enough and smart enough, you might just pull this off. And that's enough. That has to be enough. Because the alternative is never trying at all. And that's not acceptable. Not when you've only got one life. Not when this is your only chance. Not when every day you don't move forward is a day wasted. Not when you could be so much more than you are right now. You owe it to yourself to find out. You owe it to yourself to see how far you can go. You owe it to yourself to become everything you're capable of becoming. Not for anyone else. For you. Because at the end of your life, you're the one who has to live with the choices you made. You're the one who has to face the person in the mirror. And I want you to be able to look at that person with pride. I want you to be able to say, I gave it everything I had. I didn't hold back. I didn't play it safe. I lived. I really truly lived. Because that's what this is all about. Living. Not existing. Not surviving. Not getting by. Living. Feeling alive. Being engaged. Growing. Pushing. Becoming. That's what makes life worth living. Not the comfortable moments. Not the easy days. Not the times when everything was perfect. Those moments are nice, but they're not what you remember. They're not what shapes you. They're not what makes you who you are. It's the hard times, the challenges, the moments when you wanted to quit but didn't, the times you pushed through when everything in you was screaming to stop. Those are the moments that define you. Those are the experiences that forge your character. Those are the memories you carry with you forever.